Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay and I have a question for you. Do you like your job? Does going to work make you happy? Or would you rather be at home with your family or do something else? Do you know people around the world are quitting their jobs? 41% of the world's working population is planning to switch this year. 95% of Americans are thinking of quitting their current jobs this year. Many already have. We are in the middle of the Great Resignation. The term was coined by Anthony Klotz. He calls the trend a pandemic epiphany. And we'll try to understand it today. Why are people leaving their jobs? Where are they going? And most importantly, should you consider quitting too? If you're an employer, what should you do? We'll discuss all of this. Let's start with some numbers. Microsoft conducted a survey. It found that 41% of employees worldwide are looking to quit their jobs this year. In the United States, 4.3 million people quit their jobs in August this year. 4.3 million people, that's 2.9% of America's working population. 20 million Americans have left their jobs since April. Do the math. In Germany, 1/3 of the companies are short of skilled workers. Currently, there are at least 400,000 skilled job vacancies. Data collected from the OECD shows that in 38 member countries, at least 20 million workers have not returned to work since the Wuhan virus struck. In India, the attrition rate in the tech sector is up 23%. In Vietnam, many low-paid garment workers have not returned to factories. In the Caribbean, 1 in 6 workers aged 18 to 29 has left the workforce. In China, there's a shortage of workers in the tech sector. Welcome to the Great Resignation. Why did people start quitting their jobs? Unemployment benefits, check. Inadequate pay, check. Caregiving, check. Relocation, check. Fear of in-person interaction, check and check. But all of this is just half the story. Not everyone is leaving because of unemployment benefits from their government, or because they have to care for a child or an elderly at home, or because their family has relocated during the pandemic. The elephant in the room is work-life balance. You see, for years, our lives have revolved around our work. We planned our week based on our work calendar. We met people only over weekends. We socialized only on off days. We skipped weddings for work. We prioritized work meetings over parent-teacher meetings. We compromised on vacations to save on paid leaves. The pandemic has changed all of this. It held up the mirror. It forced people to see the unpredictability of life, to reflect on what really matters to them. Many realized it's not work, or at least not their present work. So millions began reimagining their lives. Many locked up their city homes and moved to suburbs. They realized they don't want to wait until retirement for greener pastures. Many quit full-time jobs and began freelancing. They realized they want to spend more time at home or with family. Many decided to quit and go back to school. They realized life is too short to stick it out in the wrong career. Many turned their hobbies into full-time jobs because why not? Many began trading full-time. At least 106 million people around the world today are trading in cryptocurrency, and this is as of February 2021. The number surely has gone up since, courtesy the raging crypto. Then there are people who decided to start up. The Great Resignation has been accompanied by a startup boom. Let me show you some more numbers. The year the pandemic struck, 1.4 million startups were registered in the US. India added 1,600 startups in the tech sector alone. Those who did not have the capital for a startup or the skill set to look for new jobs decided to stay back in their villages. Vietnam's garment factory workers, for example, they traded poor living conditions and human rights abuses in the factories for a life of struggle at home. At least there, they have family. No wonder the Great Resignation is also being called a workers' revolution. It's a legacy of the pandemic. It gave people a newfound respect for themselves and their life. A survey asked people why they quit their jobs. 40% cited burnout, 20% spoke about the lack of flexibility, 16% said the previous employer was not supporting their well-being. So what were they looking for in their new jobs? 40% said the ability to work remotely according to personal preference. That's what people want. You see, people today don't want their lives to revolve around their jobs anymore. They want their jobs to fit into the kind of life they want to live. A parent who's raising a child wants a job where he or she can take time off every day to drop the little one to soccer. A 25-year-old may not want to slog it out 10 hours a day anymore. He may want to work 5 hours a day and wants the employer who would respect that. Some may want to work from home for the rest of their lives. Today, people are looking for jobs that are flexible, remote, that have shorter work days, that have 4-day work weeks. People want a job that helps them maintain a work-life balance, period. You see, every big event in history has affected our economic decisions. During World War I, when men went to the battlefields to fight, women for the first time entered factories to keep them running. After the Great Depression, people clung on to their jobs. In the mid-90s, they were switching jobs again. After the Great Recession, the trend of sticking to the jobs was back. People wanted a safety net. Then came the pandemic. It gave people another reality check on life. Those who survived the virus value their lives way too much to compromise. LinkedIn studied the trend. It found that the percentage of LinkedIn members who updated their profiles and found a job has increased 54% year on year. Gen Z switched the most. Their job transition increased 80%. Millennials were next, then Gen X, and finally the boomers. Sectors suffering the most because of the Great Resignation include hospitality and healthcare. So this was the employees' side of the story. Let's now look at the employers. The first year of the pandemic was hard enough. Offices were closed. When they reopened, supply bottlenecks strangled operations, and now workers are quitting. It's like being out of the frying pan into the fire. There are currently 10 million job openings in the United States. Germany needs at least 400,000 workers. What are companies doing to retain their talent? Well, some companies are offering higher increments and bonuses. Reports say wages for low-paid workers are rising at the fastest rate since the Great Recession. Some employers are even giving collective holidays. German e-commerce company Zalando, for example. It offered the staff a collective leave. The company shut down its offices in the first week of August so that all employees could take a break. Some companies are giving coupons for food delivery. These benefits are exciting, but if a company is to survive the Great Resignation, it must deep dive into an employee's mind and see what she really wants. Flexibility is the term. Companies must allow people to continue working from home if they want to and not penalize their career growth for it. They must change the hybrid model for good. They must become diverse. And by that I mean not just hire people from different social backgrounds or people who look different. That diversity is needed. They should also look for employees with different needs. If a parent wants to take an hour out every day for his or her child, let them. If someone wants to work from home, let them. Rearrange your human resources in a way that enables flexibility, because today a paycheck is no longer enough. And companies must realize this. They must also realize that employees are tired. Many are grieving. They need to be given a reason to return to work every Monday. So give them better health policies, come up with better family engagement policies, reward your employees, make them feel valued. It's time to reimagine work, reimagine office culture, reimagine leadership. Because if you don't, some other company will, and you will lose out in the race for talent. Next question. What should you do? Should you quit your job or continue working where you are right now? And for the record, I'm not glorifying resignation. I'm simply doing my job, which, by the way, I'm quite happy doing, and that is to tell you what's going on around the world. So it's for you to decide what you want to do, what suits your economic situation, what helps you pay your loans, what helps you support your family. You alone know what works for you. Is it the safety of a 9-to-5 job or the flexibility of freelancing? You see, soul searching is all nice and good, but survival, that's a battle that you alone need to fight. So if you're content in your current workplace, if you like what you do, the people you work with, if you have a job that pays your bills, ensures your growth, a job you're happy to return to every Monday, then why fall for the Great Resignation?